So my Christian friends are telling me I have fallen into New Age beliefs again because I posted this video on Instagram. And this might sound a little unchristian, but I really believe in this principle. I don't care what my wife thinks. This is the right thing for me to do, so I'm going to do it without her opinion involved. Because women and men, their psychology is different. Women are security focused. Men, if you want to be successful, you have to be more risky if you're an entrepreneur. Whatever risk the hell is. You have to invest money in coaches. You have to go out and try different things. Women are like, their biology is like, how can I ensure my kids survive? That's what they're thinking. Men are scared of their wife. What if she says no? It's like, this is why Andrew Tate got so popular. This is ridiculous. We are men. Like, you guys ever seen Mel Gibson, Braveheart? Freedom! Like, that is the core of masculine energy. To go for what you believe in and to do it unapologetically, even if there's repercussions. Because so many men are walking around the world with their balls cut off. And they wonder why they're not succeeding in business. They wonder why they're not succeeding with girls. They wonder why they're not healthy and they feel tired all the time. It's because they have no freaking purpose. They can't make a decision by themselves. This is a ridiculous idea. Now, this doesn't mean you get prideful and arrogant and you do dumb things. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have enough of a mind and a freaking heart and balls to say, this is what I need to do. I'm going to do it. And honestly, this, funny enough, this turns women on like crazy because what it tells her biology is he is a leader. He values his mission over my opinion. Oh my gosh, he said this turns on women. I just can't sometimes. Overly religious people drive me nuts. And I'm super religious. To say men or women don't get sexually aroused is just ridiculous. Just because I can say it publicly, because I don't, nobody owns me. I'm not relying on some company that's not going to approve this message because there's some Christian company that says Anton can't talk about this. It's like, that will never be me. And that's not me. I'm not owned. I'm not controlled. I believe in freedom, baby. That's why I'm a capitalist. I'm an entrepreneur. Nobody can make me change the words that come out of my mouth, because if they do, they own me. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not open to being critiqued if it truly isn't a Christian position. But at the same time, I would actually argue this is the most Christian position. And my argument to my friend was that, look, this is not disrespecting your woman because you're making a decision without her. It's the exact opposite. This is the most respectful thing you can do to your woman because she is going to drop so deep into her femininity and her whole nervous system is going to be able to finally relax and say, damn, I trust my man. And that's going to make her more of that beautiful, feminine, radiant flower that you love. But so many guys are so weak that their woman has to become the man. You can say, oh, this is not a biblical concept, Proverbs 31 or whatever. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. The woman's super involved. I'm not saying she's not. But if we go back to Genesis, it could very well be argued that the world fell because Adam was a weak man. He didn't protect his wife. He didn't spiritually hold it down and provide for her and say, hey, babe, don't do that. She shouldn't even have gotten to the point of being on that edge if he was spiritually strong. She would have never got there. This is a gift men give to women, this different level of spiritual discernment, because I don't know what it is about women, and this is no disrespect towards them, but they fall into deception way easier. I don't know why that is. I really don't. I can't quite figure it out. But even in like New Age circles, and if you talk to an exorcist, like most women, fall into spiritual deception before men. Now, that doesn't mean men are not inclined to fall into spiritual deception. I think everybody is. Anybody with a wicked heart and a desire for worldly things can easily fall into deception. But there is a responsibility, I believe, if you're a Christian, love your wife like Christ loved the church. Well, what does that really mean? Like, people hear that and I don't really think they take it in. I would argue it's more of a servant position. If your wife is the one always making decisions, caring for the children, thinking about this and thinking about that and doing this and doing that, and overcompensating because you don't know how to make a decision, you don't know how to take her on a date, and every time you go on a date, you have to ask her, hey, babe, what do you want for dinner? Instead of like, hey, babe, reservations, 8 p.m., put on a sexy dress. I can't wait to take you out. You better be ready. This type of approach to a woman makes her feel like a little kid again. I have worked with hundreds of women over the years in this domain, and I can say without a shadow of a doubt, I don't care what anybody says, I will die on this hill. Every woman wants to be rescued by a man and taken on an adventure. I just know it from working with women who have millions of dollars in the bank to women who are just starting their life and career. And especially the ones who are spiritually mature, they all want a man. They want a man who can take care of them. They want a man that can provide. Now, I get it. We live in this, modern world where it's not always feasible that people can get by financially on one income. I have compassion for that, but I don't buy it as a freaking excuse. Men should be resourceful enough to be able to take care of their wife. This is the Christian way. I don't give a crap what anybody says. You have access to the internet. You have access to build things. You have access to AI. You have access to information at scale like never before, and you're still broke. This is laziness. I can say this because I come from nothing. I have no college degree. I virtually am a high school dropout, yet I've built multiple businesses. I've sold a business, and it didn't come on the back of anything from this world. Instead, it came from me seeking people out, going to places, reading books, going to seminars, paying for coaching to get ahead in life. And I made my first $1 million by the time I was 25 years old. This is possible for anybody. I don't give a crap what your excuse is. Now, I get it. That might not be possible for you today. And I understand that. And I have compassion for that. But with new information should come a change in behavior. And if you decide today as a man, you know what? I want to serve my wife. I want to give my wife something nobody could ever give her. You know what that's called? Peace in her nervous system, okay? Most women, they are walking around in fight or flight because men are dangerous. A lot of women, unfortunately, have been hurt by men. Almost every woman I ever dated went through some type of serious abuse with a man, whether it was they're raped, their dad hit them, their uncle molested them, their husband physically assaulted them. It's absolutely insane. 2 of my ex-girlfriends after me, they got into abusive relationships where the man physically abused them. And the girl I'm currently dating, same thing with her ex. It's an insanity. So, what does that mean? Those men are freaking weak. Those men are the problem. Masculinity is not the problem. It's masculinity disordered and not integrated. That is the problem. If you're hitting your wife, you are the epitome of what it means to not be a man. You hear Jordan Peterson talk about integrating your shadow, and some Christians go, "Oh my God, integrate your shadow." No, we're here to cast out the shadow. You don't understand basic psychology. It's not like bringing in a demon inside of you. It's not what it's saying. It's saying that meekness is not about not being able to use a sword. Christ says, "The meek shall inherit the earth." I did a video on this way in the past. That word meek in the Greek actually translates something to more of capability. People who know how to use the swords, but are humble enough to keep them sheathed until necessary. So what that really translates to is men who know how to go to battle, but don't have to use the weapons. But they know how to use them just in case. This is why I learned martial arts. I love martial arts. I think it's a beautiful thing. I think every single man should know it. In my household, when I have kids, it is going to be mandatory. You're forcing things on your kid, you evil son of a gun. It's they're my kids, and I'm going to teach them a road I didn't have. I was physically taken advantage of as a young boy more than once, and if I would have known basic fighting skills, these things wouldn't have happened. So I learned them as an adult because you just never know. And in that process, I realized how weak I was. I was such I tiptoe around everything. I'm scared of people. I'm scared of women. I'm scared because my nervous system is not integrated into the energy of a man. I'm still stuck in that boy psychology. I have to grow up, and men only grow through pain. This is truth. If you want to kill a man, coddle him. You want to kill a man, take away his purpose. You want to kill a man, give him no responsibility. This is why most men, when they retire, they die relatively quickly after. They have no freaking purpose. So, back to the point of this video. Women want a man who they can't control. Women want a man that is going to choose them and claim her. And women who have poor relationship to masculine energy are going to at first reject this idea. But it really has nothing to do with you, and it has everything to do with the toxic man who hurt her in the past. So your job now is to heal her. And some people will say, oh my God, that's so simping. No, this is the role of a Christian. You as a man can give your girlfriend, give your wife, give your future wife such a gift of healing if you just own who you are and you bring that energy to her and you pierce her with love. It is the most powerful thing that will ever happen to you and will happen to her, because you will own her soul and she will own yours, because she's like a little flower that you don't want to hurt because she's so precious and delicate, and you'll see the walls of the pain and the fear and the trauma just diminish as you love her into life like Christ does for all of us. But you, as the head of the household, you are a little Christ for your wife. It's so insane to me. I'm dating this new girl. She was a Muslim, and she's in the process of becoming Christian. Gosh, I don't even know what to say. I can get emotional thinking about it, because there's so much pain from her upbringing that took this innocent child and completely contorted her views about God, about man, about the purpose of a woman. And God, I don't know, brought this woman into my life. And I'm just taking it day by day. I've had a lot of hard conversations with her. But in this process, I almost feel like I have stepped into a new level of understanding the purpose of a man towards a woman. My last couple relationships were really challenging. I was always the nice guy. Like I never did anything toxic, never hit them, barely even gotten in any fights, which is actually, I would say, kind of problematic if you're not fighting with somebody. Fights lead to resolve, and what's way worse is like the building of like secret resentment and all this crap. You know, after my last kind of breakup, I was just like, wow, I really don't get it. Like, if I really understood this stuff, I wouldn't be going through what I'm going through. And I believe as men, God gives us these hard crosses, but he doesn't give us a cross we can't bear. He always gives us just enough where it's like, it's a little bit beyond what I can bear. And in that we grow. And for me, you know, dating this new girl, I'm seeing things through a whole different lens. I think it's because like I am so disciplined with my relationship with Christ, and it's something that just can't be shaken at this point. Like there's nothing somebody can do or say that's going to convince me anything other than what's already there. It's because I know what life is like without that. And it would be so idiotic for even 1 minute to forget that. So I am very careful of my sinning. We were talking and she was like, you know, we're just having conversations about certain things. I know it's a little vulnerable, but it's just the truth. And she was like, you know, how often do you masturbate? And I was like, I don't masturbate. She was like, you don't masturbate? No. She was like, do you watch porn? I said, no. I was like, I have watched porn. There was a point in my life where I watched porn almost every day when I was like 17, 18. But I was like, I don't do that stuff. Like my lust, it's under my control. Now, does that mean I don't get lustful thoughts about women in the world? No, I do. And I repent from them. And she couldn't believe it. She could not believe it. You know, I don't know what Islam teaches about this type of stuff. From the Christian context, this is a sin. You know, that's one of the most beautiful things about a relationship and a marriage specifically, is it helps you conquer the evil sin of lust, because we as humans get horny. You know, it's a biological response. When you're a man and you have testosterone and you work out and you fight all the time and you do these things, like you will get those urges, but it has to be in your control. There's something so sacred about sex. Men need to show their wives and wives to be like, hey, I'm in control of this, because that will make her trust you so much more. Especially if you're a guy like me who like kind of lives an unordinary life, travel a lot, all these different things. Like I'm going to be separated from my wife for periods of time, and she has to know, how did he treat me when we were dating? And that will be her metric of how she judges me, subconsciously or consciously. So if as a man, You're having premarital sex and you think it's no big deal. You're not being convicted enough, or you're lying to yourself because it's easy and convenient. This is not the Christian way. And yes, I get it. It's really freaking hard. I understand. I got on the dating apps. It's like, it's so easy to fall into sexual sin. But everybody listening, if you're a man, you have to beat this demon. But as men, we can give our women such a gift of servitude. Most men, they get into pleasing. They're like, oh, I don't want to make her mad. Oh, I don't want to make her upset. So I have no masculinity. And she says, babe, I need you to do this. Okay, I do it. Babe, I need you to do this. Okay, I do it. Meanwhile, in the back of your head, you're thinking, I need to run my business. I have these things to do. But you're so scared of your wife, you're scared to put your foot down because you don't know how to set a boundary, because you don't have a healthy relationship. And because of that, the dynamics have gotten out of balance. Again, I believe in the polarity stuff. I know that might not sound like a Christian idea, but I have worked with enough relationships, people who are married for multiple years, decades in some cases, where this is definitely a thing. If you are not physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally attracted to your spouse, that is problematic. And as men, you are the wielder of that flame. It's going to come downstream to how much of yourself you own. Do you own your masculinity? And what does that really translate to? This is how I see it. It's love and strength. Love without strength is weak. Strength without love is weak. Have you ever seen those videos where there's like this couple, they're out and about? There's this one specific one I'm thinking of where there's this mom, this dad, and this daughter, and there's this like stranger that goes up and like attacks the child. And the dad just does nothing. And the mom is the one combating the predator. And the dad's like, oh my God, stop. It's a woman in a man's body. You know, this can happen. You know, this is an energy thing. You don't think men can embody too much feminine energy? You don't know the first thing about spirituality. Go to the New Age and look at those men. They're not gay. Some of them are gay, but a lot of them are just overly attuned to feminine things, and they have disowned their masculinity, and they've lied to themselves so long because they have an unhealthy relationship with masculine energy. Likely because they were taken advantage of, they were hurt by their dad. So they build up this internal like psyche thing where it rejects all things masculine, and then they try to like code it with spirituality and say like, oh my God, like you shouldn't want to be competitive. Like, oh my God, that's so toxic. Meanwhile, their daughter is getting attacked by another man, and it's the mom fighting him off. This is completely delusional and unchristian. I believe every man should know how to fight. I believe every man should know how to run a business, or at least be part of leadership in some capacity in his work. I believe every man should know how to work around his house and do the basics. It doesn't mean you can't pay for people to do that stuff, but you should know the basics. I believe every man should be able to sit in front of his woman, let her lay out all of her challenges of the day, of the week, of the year, and he should have no inkling inside of his body or nervous system to want to change that woman, and instead appreciate her and love on her for all the craziness happening. And what happens 9 times out of 10 is if you're just listening, you're just hearing, you're seeing her, she actually doesn't want solutions. She wants to connect with you. And the way women connect is through their words, it's through their emotions, it's through their feelings. Men are a lot more logical, so a lot of guys don't get this in the beginning. But once they kind of grasp onto it, they're like, oh, like I don't have to fix her. I just have to listen. She can fix herself. She knows what to do. She just needs you to be that kind of firm wall that she can crash into. But most guys, they don't know how to have that firm wall because it's not developed within themselves. And this was me. And this is exactly why I got cheated on by multiple different women. It wasn't that I wasn't a good guy. I was a great guy. Loved the hell out of these women. Loved them in a way probably nobody else did or does. Loved them with my whole heart. But love is not enough. Because in my case, it was like puppy dog love. I love you because there's no sense of me. This is a weak form of love. Real love is the strength with love behind it, or love with strength behind it. Either way works. I think love with strength behind it is a better frame, because if you put strength first, it might come off a little bit intense. And I definitely have that too. I'm a very intense person, but the intensity comes with love because I want to serve people. I want to love on people. I want to help people better their life and their business and their mindset and their spirituality. This brings me purpose. So it comes off intense. Some people don't like the approach. I don't give a crap. It's who I am. I've always been this way. Can I be a little bit more gentle in my approach? Absolutely. And I have the times where that happens. But this is not one of them. So this video I showed on my Instagram was a clip from an 1.5-hour call with some Christian entrepreneurs that I'm coaching to show them that, hey, if somebody is telling you they have to talk to their wife, and that is the objection in the sale. First of all, I've reviewed probably 10,000 sales calls in my career of being an entrepreneur. And I can tell you 90% of the time that is complete bullshit. It's just not true. They're saying that as a way to be nice because what they're really saying is no. But they don't have enough courage to tell you that, so they have to put it on their wife. Sometimes it is true. 10% of the time it is true. They actually have to consult their wife. Now, if you have to consult your wife to make a business decision, you have a bigger problem. I'm sorry to tell you. Like, if you cannot decide, hey, this is the right thing for me and this family to do to move things forward for me and us, because no man runs a business for themselves, especially if you're a dad, like you're doing it for your family, but your wife is the decision maker in that final process. This is you outsourcing your leadership to her. What would work way better, and I've seen this too, and I've experienced this as well. Me and my ex, we were like pretty serious. We had a house with each other. Like, we spent 3 years with each other locked in a house because we lived in LA in COVID, and COVID in LA lasts for 3 years, where we could only go outside once a day, and we were literally locked in a house with each other all day, every day. We both worked from home. It was intense, and you get to know somebody really well under those circumstances. And there was times where I told her, hey, this is what we're doing. I just made this decision. This is when I started to learn, oh, she's not looking for me to ask her permission. That's where I'm getting this wrong. She's looking for me to own my decisions as a leader so that she can trust me more, trust my decisions more, and therefore submit to me more. Because a lot of guys are like, I want my woman to submit to me, but they're a weak man. Why would a woman submit to a weak man? They're not that stupid. That equals danger to a woman. Think about it. If a man is not strong and certain in himself and a woman is submitting to that man, how can he possibly lead her? He can't. And she knows that somewhere in her. It's in her gut, it's in her heart, it's in her mind. It's somewhere in there. Women can't always articulate it like the way I'm articulating it. But what's happening is some part of her mind, her subconscious, her heart, her intuition, God, Holy Spirit, whatever, doesn't trust this man's ability to own his life and therefore provide for her and the family. I'm not saying she's a stay-at-home mom. Of course, that should be the aim. I think that's the right idea. But I understand it's not practical for everybody, at least for now. Again, I'm pretty no excuses here in my books, but I get it. Not everyone's had the upbringing I had. Like, I get it. I started my first business when I was 16 years old. Like, I get not everyone has this level of mindset developed, but you should start today, man. There's way more resources today than when I was 16. You know, it was 14 years ago. So there's no excuse to not get ahead. But I started to kind of learn these patterns of behavior that would allow my girlfriend at the time, her whole personality would change. I mean, it was wild. And I just saw this with the new girl I'm dating. You know, we've been dating. We've gone on a couple dates. It's always been like us going somewhere. We went to a concert. And on this most recent date, you know, she came over my house. And before she came over, I said, I want you to cook me dinner. And the old me would be so freaking scared to do this. I'd be like, oh my God, she's going to think I'm controlling her. She's going to think like I'm a misogynist. But I'm like, no, dude, like, my wife should want to cook for me because guess what? I'm not cooking. And if I am, she's probably not going to like the food because it's going to be steak and eggs and a little bit of avocado with sea salt. Like, that's what I eat, and some blueberries and some orange juice. Like, that's my food. So in my head, I'm like, yeah, like I want you to come over. I want you to cook for me and we're going to have a great time. And her response just warmed my heart. And she was like, oh my God, I can't wait to cook for you. Because women secretly want a man they can serve in this way. because this is the feminine nature. They get pleasure out of serving their man. And just like me, taking her out, paying for everything, going to this awesome concert, literally having front row tickets for Mumford & Sons. It was like the greatest night ever. We had so much fun. It was thousands of dollars. And I get to gift her that. It was amazing. I was like, this is awesome. I was so happy to do that. And guess what? She was so happy to cook for me. And we laughed and we danced. It was fun. But it came on the end of me communicating what I wanted. I want you to cook me dinner. Most guys cannot talk like this to a woman because they're scared to be rejected. But deep down, they secretly want that. I'm just honest enough to be like, hey, this is what I want. And some girls might not want to do that, but they probably wouldn't want to do that because you haven't earned their respect because you don't own who the hell you are. So they're like, you don't deserve a dinner from me. What do you think you are, husband material? This is what they're thinking. So I just wanted to make this video because I was just really appalled that my Christian friend thought this was unchristian. I think this is the most Christian idea. There is no religion that honors the feminine quite like Christianity, especially in the apostolic faiths. If you look at Catholicism and Orthodoxy and proper Protestantism, I'll add, they all honor the Theotokos, the Virgin Mary. Why? Because she honored the calling from God. We could debate if she's sinless or not. That's a whole nother conversation. I believe she was. I believe she's an ever virgin, and I have my theological reasons for that. But either way, she is the ultimate example of what it means to be a righteous woman. She preserved her virginity to birth God. It's like she had to say yes to God. She had to obey God. This is hard to do, especially in our society today, especially for women today. They have so many options of men because of dating apps. Their minds get influenced by TikTok and this brain rot. Then you got men watching OnlyFans from their favorite Instagram model. It's a cascade of disaster waiting to happen. So if you can show a woman, hey, look at the Theotokos. She was a virgin. That's something honorable that all women should aspire to. And I get it. It's probably very unlikely to happen. But moving forward, you should tell yourself, hey, I am not having sex until my husband. Just draw that line in the sand. And if the man you're with will not honor that, it's probably not the right guy. This is my attitude towards women. I will not have sex with women before marriage. This is not even a negotiable for me. It's just how it's going to be. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And one of them is because it's a sin. Christ tells us no. So I'm going to listen. Is it really hard? Absolutely. It's super hard. But there has to be a standard of masculinity if you really want to find your wife and or if you want your relationship to go to the next level. Look at Genesis. Adam was weak. He was passive. He was a pushover. You have to be able to claim yourself. You have to be able to know what you want. You have to be able to communicate what you want. And you have to be willing to go for what it is you want. This is what a leader does. We're not managers of circumstances. We're creators of circumstances. And if you are a business owner and you are waiting for somebody to come save you to run your business, I promise you, you will be waiting forever because it doesn't exist. If you are a father and you're waiting for somebody to father your children, I promise you, you will be waiting forever for someone to come and save you. If you are a Christian man and you are hoping your priest is going to solve your relationship problems, I promise you, they can consult you, they can help you, but at the end of the day, man, this is your life. I get it. I believe in the apostolic faiths. I believe in traditional Christianity in all forms of what that means, but I do not believe in outsourcing any part of my life to another human being because I've done that in the past and it never works. Your happiness is up to you. The outcomes of your life are your responsibility. Does that mean tragedy won't hit? No. Does that mean you could do all the right things and still have a woman cheat on you? I'd say it's unlikely, but sure, it's possible. Tragedy will strike. All of us. We will get crosses. And hopefully it's a worthy cross. Hopefully it's a cross that makes us better. Because I really believe that's the only reason Christ would give us such a thing. He wants to know us more. And that's not going to come by things being so mushy and easy. The path of following Christ is supposed to be hard. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have finer things in life and create abundance and live in prosperity. That's not what I'm saying. I have no issues with that. But you can't expect it to be handed out to you. If that's the case, it's almost always a blessing from the devil, which is a curse. I used to, the manifesting world, like, they love that. Like, how can I do the bare minimum and get the most return? How can I visualize and tap into the quantum field and draw things to me? I mean, this is the mindset of a new ager. And that stuff's very real. Like, the high levels of the occult, that stuff is 100% real. I've engaged in that stuff. It is 100% real. I have had some of the most insane manifestations that were 100% the byproduct of working with demons. I didn't know what I was doing. I thought they were angels, but it wasn't. Okay, so that's a curse. This is not a blessing. This is not flow. This is deception. So the Christian path says, no, my relationship is going to struggle. My business is going to struggle. My family is going to struggle. I'm going to struggle. But guess what? It's in my control to bear this cross and bear it with grace and a smile on my face and keep moving up the mountain and aiming towards the greatest good Christ is calling me to become with full submission to his will, so that I can be the man my wife needs. I can be the man my children needs. I can be the man my clients need. I can be the man this world needs, but it will not happen as a byproduct of me being weak, passive, pushover, Mr. Nice Guy. And it's going to be a byproduct of me owning who the hell I am and growing a pair to be bold in this world of soft, weak men. And again, this has nothing to do with height. This has nothing to do with muscles. It has everything to do with heart. It's hard to love in this cold world. But as men, we have such a gift we can give other people if we just get out of our own way, get out of our own egos and the fear of rejection, and we love with strength our woman. We love with strength our child. And all my cousins are starting to have babies. My sister just had a baby. It's just an amazing time in my family. Like, I'm so happy I moved back to Michigan after living in California and Florida for, almost a decade. It's just amazing because, children, they're like the image of God, right? And they're just so beautiful and pure and innocent. But even children will push boundaries. My little niece, it's not really my niece, but I just call her that. She's just like my favorite. I just love this child. She's amazing. I think she's 3. She will see how far she can go with me. And the difference between me and all the other men in her life is, like, I will put a boundary with her. And at first she might not like it, but I am, 28 years, 27 years older than her. So she has to respect it, and I will enforce it. Not forcefully, but in a way like, hey, like, you're not going there. And sure enough, her and I have developed this incredible relationship. It's so beautiful. I literally, every time I see her, I get a little tear in my eye because she loves me so much. And it's like overwhelming for me. I'm not even her dad. She loves me so much because I've gained her respect, because I can play with her and we can have fun. But then there's also a time for boundaries. Every time she comes to my nonas, it's the same song and dance. Is Anton here? Is Anton here? And she comes up to me, she's like, I love you. And I'm like, I love you too. You're so sweet. And it's such a resemblance of the gift men can give women, no matter the age. This girl's 3 years old. But in that dynamic, that still plays out with adults, just in a totally different way. Every single person has a little child inside of them that wants love, including me. But that can't be the driving force of your life. There has to be a warrior inside of you. It says in Exodus, God is a warrior. Christ is clearly a warrior in a different way, but he's still a savage, flipping over tables, calling out Pharisees, making a whip, He's a warrior for truth to the point of death on a cross in a humiliating way, in a way he chose. He chose the cross. This is masculinity, to choose the cross. So what's your cross? What cross are you avoiding? Where have you gone passive and weak and stopped taking control of what you can control? You can't control everything, but there are certain things you can control. You can control your business, you can control your health, you can control your relationship, how often you work out. You can't control everything. Life will strike tragedy, I promise you. That's the only thing guaranteed is change. But you can manage your standards inside of yourself to say, no, I have more control of this. Like, I cannot tell you the amount of men who just secretly hope God is going to bless them with their wife. I was in this mindset too for like 5 years. And guess what happened in those 5 years? I met like one girl and it didn't work. It's like, yeah, you're going to feel pretty crappy about yourself. But then I was like, you know what? I'm done doing this. I'm going to start talking to girls in public. I'm going to download the dating apps. I'm going to talk to girls at church. I'm going to make it happen. Sure enough, it happened. I'm going to stop being lazy and fearful is really what it was. Like, I'm just being a pansy. I'm scared of rejection. So I'm just going to go and make it happen. All right. So I'm done venting, but I just wanted to get this out because I got fired up, because I really feel like certain aspects of Christianity don't really understand these basic principles about masculinity. I just wanted to make this video because I feel like there's so many men who are confused about what it means to be a man. It's not about having all the money and this and that. It's not what it's about. It's about standing for something you believe in, going for that something, bringing a woman on that journey with you and rescuing her from the dragons, creating a family, having children, getting married, together uniting closer to God in service to something more. That is the purpose of life. You cannot do that as a weak, docile man who's masturbating to porn every night. I'm sorry to tell you, this will not be the case for you. You got to kick that to the curb. Like, the amount of Christians that struggle with porn is mind-blowing to me. But I think, at least for some of the part, a lot of that is on the back end of them being single. Like, and I get it. We're not supposed to engage in premarital sex. I totally get that. But the reality is a relationship, a marriage, will help you overcome lust. Most men are just lonely. They're looking for connection, but they're looking in these demonic aspects, aka porn. You just got to draw the line in the sand. Like, why are you confessing that sin every week, bro? This is ridiculous. Stop taking your hand and putting it down there. Is it that hard? It's like, no, you're giving in to the flesh. You have to crucify the flesh. All right, so rant over. All right, I hope this video helps somebody. God bless.